What's going on, my man?
What up, dude? You hear
All
me?
right, well, we're live. I had to get it started, so we got some people in there. Say what's up, guys, when you get into chat. Rody, any luck for you yesterday?
I got some ones I made some pivots on with Kelsey and ETN. They're all right. I hit that sports bet with Travis Kelsey first touchdown and got it first touchdown for 2,200.
Oh, nice.
I got one going. If Knox scores today the first touchdown, I'll win another 11K. And then
Ooh.
I have Travis Kelsey, Goddard, or Goddard, Knox, and Schultz. So I need Knox to get the first one, and then we'll be sweating 200K if Schultz gets one tonight. But we need Knox
buddy.
first. It's quite a long shot, but we got some good sports bets going.
Why not? The tight end parlay. Let's go.
Yeah, it's a tight end. Yeah, basically. And another guy I seen on Twitter is blowing up all over TikTok. People are sending me the TikTok because I sent him screenshots of the one I had. I have the same exact one he does, but he has like $50 on it versus I just had 10 on that one.
Right.
So he's going to win almost $1 million if
he gets
those two tight ends score. I'll take 200,000. I'm good with that, but I won't be able to brag for the top parlay for the weekend if it hits because there's guys out there with this one, same one. So
hey, we'll still love you just the same. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Long shot though.
I love that. And it's funny because it goes into what we talked about yesterday, right? Like we liked. At least I was pointing it out and you agreed with me. It seemed like the double tight end builds, I think, were a pretty good route so far. And we've got a lot of good ones today. So one thing I'm doing, because I'm not playing much today, I've got my kid all afternoon and evening, and then I actually am going to be able to watch the second half of the last game with my friends. But I'm adjusting all my lineups. So unfortunately for me, my Kelsey exposure was in Mahomes or Lawrence stacks, which basically puts me as dead to win anything significant with any of those lineups. And they were decent. There's some they're going to cash and stuff like that. But Kelsey's really the only player you needed to have yesterday, right? Like of anything by the time this weekend's done, and even that, like why Jamar Chase, Stephon Diggs, CeeDee Lamb, all these guys, Deebo Samuel, these guys can all put up similar type of scores to Kelsey. And so I would be trying to jam those guys in, the top guys, to try to make up for the fact that I don't have Kelsey. Because I've got about 20% of my lineups where nobody started yet. So what do you think about that in terms of strategy before we get into today's games individually? What is your strategy on these multi-day sets? Like obviously that ATN Kelsey lineup is basically the nuts right now. I mean, even if you have the bad defense in there, or whatever, it's basically the best thing you could ask for from day one. If you had Christian Kirk, you're fine. A bunch of other guys are fine, but that's the real. Goddard, you're totally fine. But if you have those two guys, how do you build around that? Do you maybe take a little bit of a different chance because they weren't like unowned or anything? But I'm just sort of curious. What's your 2-day strategy?
Yeah,
after the first day.
Yeah, I got 4 of those actually out of 20 lineups. So I've been dealing with late swaps and in the chat with guys all day talking about it. So one of my biggest struggles lately has been swapping, man. I've been missing out on some swaps in NBA and last year in NFL and so far this year in NFL. So I'm really putting a lot of emphasis on figuring out some of these swaps and what to do. Do I leave some of them? Do I not? I did swap one of them over to Josh Allen with a McKenzie. I like Tyler Boyd and Isaiah McKenzie in it. Today is my couple lower owned guys that we talked about yesterday, I think. So I got that little mini stack. Gabe Davis I like today against the zone. The Bills. Gabe Davis is a really good play. He's in a lot of lineups today. So I'm kind of keeping it condensed and just kind of keeping my stacks. I do like some Joe Burrow. I talked about switching one over to a Purdy, but I have a nice one that I have Deebo Samuel in. I have some Michael Gallup in that other game. So I'm kind of taking the guys that I really like and then trying to jam them in these lineups. The optimizer, I got Josh Allen in the one with CMC. I like that combo. Yeah. I can get to with the playing the cheap McKenzie and the Boyd and the Gabe Davis type stacks. It's also got T. Higgins in that one with Kelsey. So that one's loaded, but I did play the Jags D on that one. So I got 0 on that. Yeah. But I mean, Chiefs got 7, right? And
11.
Eagles did get 11.
Yeah, 11, but that's not like anything, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not like a 20-point where a defense scores 2 touchdowns or a pick 6 we've had and 2 special teams the other day, like where defenses were in the 30s or that we haven't seen it yet. So as long as these defenses today stay in check and maybe Dak puts up some points and San Fran does and the defenses aren't scoring like over 20, I think anybody's line with the cheap defense has a shot. I mean, I played every defense. I got Giants at -3, I have the Chiefs. I have Bengals D today. I got Niners. So I got Eagles. I'm all spread out, like we talked about yesterday on the show. I think just spread out your defense. So I took a shot on all the defenses pretty much. So
and it's
I don't
interesting.
know
Good.
what no, I mean, I like the Joe Burrow stacks. What I got most of on these Kelsey builds I got, but I switched the one to Josh Allen, and I might even switch another one out. So I'm kind of looking at my options right now and to see what pivots. So I'm waiting to hear from you to what you got for me today. And sheets to help me with these pivots. So
so I'll throw in a few things. Rich, just real quick, I always like to answer questions when they come up. It's an interesting question because for the Sunday only slate, Rich B is asking Mixon or one of the Cowboy backs for Sunday only. I think the right answer is Mixon, but for ownership purposes, I would side with Pollard probably. What do you think about that? Just for the today's slate only. Two gamer, and they're going to be significantly lower on than Mixon, right?
Yeah, I mean, Mixon's looking like he's real chalky on the 2-gamer today. So it depends on your lineup, obviously, but like Mixon's projecting well. But I mean, Pollard's right there behind him, and so is Zeke. Zeke's come. I mean, 14% ish, 30. Pollard might be chalky. Mixon projects a little bit better, but I mean, I can see some heavy passing in that Buffalo game. So maybe if you want to go lower on with the Pollard or the Zeke play,
yeah. Also, if you want to play an angle on a game today, I don't mind if you wanted to play P. Ryan. There is a chance of them of you could actually put. And honestly, if I was playing a 1-day slate, this is what I would be doing. But I didn't play today's full slate. I was thinking about maybe I'll throw one in after the show. But
yeah, I got like 30 lineups to still build, so I'm going to be building.
We'll get out of here in like 30 minutes or something like that. We just wanted to touch on everything. But I do think there's like an argument for doing like a P. Ryan and Cook lineup. It's weird, but like let's say you have Buffalo playing from ahead, grounding and pounding, and then you have Cincinnati trying to come back, where you end up with you're still going to get Mixon in there for a lot of plays, but you're also going to get a lot of P. Ryan, especially in the 2-minute drill before the half. Let's say it's a 3-score game or 2-score game. So there's a little that's what I would recommend, Rody, is going back to what we always talked about. Try to find a game script that makes some sort of sense and whatever makes the most sense the rest of your lineup. But just in a vacuum, I do think Mixon makes the more sense than like the Cowboy backs. But because of the ownership, I would side with. It looks like Pollard's going to be pretty popular today, but I don't think people are playing Zeke at all, and I wouldn't mind just making that switch. All these, the Zeke, James Cook, and P. Ryan as the long shot one are all kind of interesting to me, and I think I would probably try to force one of them in on a slate like a 2-gamer like today. As far as the quarterbacks for me today go, so I'll have like Josh Allen obviously has the most upside and everything. But I think I'm going to end up with more Burrow and more Purdy than anybody else on this slate today. I'm going to shift. I still have a bunch of Josh Allen from before. We had Sheets the man coming in, but I'm more on the Burrow, Purdy, Dak side just because of ownership. Like and like I said, I have to make up for my non-Kelsey lineups that are I need to get points or get different somewhere else. So I'd like to play the lower owned bunch of the guys. And it allows you, like if I play a Purdy, I can play 2 of the 7,800s and hope to have at least one of them, if not both, possibly surpass Travis Kelce. Cheats, how you doing, man?
Good. What's going on?
We're just going through some stuff for the day and sort of thoughts and talking about both today's slate and how to adjust on massive slates, on a big slate where you have a bunch of lineups and how to adjust to what happened yesterday. So that's
if you don't have Gainwell, you can't win, right? I mean,
well, Gainwell, I don't think Gainwell is going to be popular enough. I actually don't. I don't think Gainwell.
How much Gainwell's people got? You think? Like what was he owned?
I'm talking about the millionaire. You know what I mean? Like I think you have to have him to be in the top 20. I think.
No, I got laps in the top 50, and I got him
30, and then he's irrelevant.
Okay, it was cheap and he scored 20 points, right? I mean.
Right, but I just think the price difference isn't enough. I'm just saying there's different types of builds, and I personally think, I don't know. Gainwell never even crossed my mind because that was such a weird fluky thing, and as we always say, beware of the Eagles running backs. But
I'm an idiot. I mean, I straight. Well, I'm not an idiot. I stood by my whatever. I was going to give him 20%. I flat X'd him out. I don't know what I was doing.
Gainwell, I don't think you were going to get 20, but I don't think there's anything wrong with that, Sheets. Like that's like he wasn't like there wasn't like He's the third. He's a second and a half string running back. You know.
No, I know that. And that was my concept. I wasn't going to play guys like that. So I mean,
right, right, and it just was totally game flow related. I don't even see Gainwell on any of the leaders lists at all. And
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't think that many people have him. Like I got him. I don't have him at all. So
well, speaking of that, are you playing stuff like I'm just let's look at other like 1% owned plays that I'm not going to play. You playing any Trenton Irwin?
No.
Okay.
For what it's worth, Gainwell was 0.8% owned.
No, I know that. But
no, I'm just putting it out there. Just so the odds. I just think the odds of him being optimal are very, very difficult.
Yeah, and he's got to probably be paired with Kelsey at this point.
Yeah, and I'm sure there'll be some of. I'm sure half of his are probably
some of them might have
spending up for, but still, you're talking about like a lot of other things. And if he put up like 40, I would agree with you. But like he put up 22, we could have like 7 guys today put up 30 or more fantasy points. This is a really strong DFS. It's very, very strong though. I mean, Deebo Samuel put up 30 last week. The other wide receivers, both Chase and Diggs, put them up basically every other week. And then you've got CeeDee Lamb who can put up 30 anytime, and then Pollard and McCaffrey. So I think there's a lot of stuff to do today.
I got a little steam that I'll vent a little bit.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I don't know if you don't follow this stuff, but with MMA yesterday, so as you may or may not been hearing, I mean, like since they allowed late swap, it's basically a total shit show. Okay, It was a stupid idea in the first place, and what they do is they set these lock times for each fight, and it's never even close. I mean, like because it's not any set times. It's like after one fight goes, another fight goes, whatever it is. And yesterday, and I knew this was going to happen. There were 2 fights that what's the word I'm looking for? There are 2 fights that locked that finished that did not lock. So what that means is that people were able to swap onto the winning fighter like after the fight was over. Okay.
That's ridiculous.
That's totally ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
And so it happened in 2 different fights, right? And I when it was happening, I'm like, I wouldn't even do it if I wanted to, because I think you should, that's like almost unethical. You should get your account suspended, right? But yet on the other hand, if DraftKings is making that available, then people are doing it, right?
Right.
And people were even saying, "Oh, make sure you swap on to Almeida. He just smashed or whatever it is." And they were unlocked like 2 different fighters for like a good half hour after the fight was over. You know, So I didn't exactly know what to do about it. I didn't want to be unethical and change it, but then again, I knew other people were doing it, so I had to then just adjust my other shit to accommodate for the fact that it was going to be harder to win, right?
Right.
So it ended up, whatever it is. So then I was wondering what DraftKings was going to do about it. And it turns out what they did was actually probably the right thing. But what they did was everybody who swapped after the fight was over, those lineups were invalidated. So
give me a break.
Right? So in any case, but that's what they did. And for me, and so when I said, are you going to refund it? Like, no, because the lineups that took advantage of it were invalidated. I didn't want to get into a whole thing with them, but that's not the entire point. Okay. The point is that I didn't know that that's what they were going to do. Right. So I was operating, I think, under a presumption that people were going to be allowed to do this. So I was going to just adjust my lineups accordingly based on the fact that now there were 2 free squares that people are going to freaking jump on, that I wanted to do other stuff now. And I had to, because these were all things. And so, and I didn't get any, there was no compensation, no refund. So what they did was they said, okay, whoever, tried to take advantage of this, those lineups were invalidated. And whether that's correct or not, the point is they didn't announce that, while it was going on. So nobody else that didn't want to play that way knew nobody knew what the rules were, So in my opinion, like the whole slate should have been invalidated because the whole slate was compromised, and so it's like here's an example. Like, let's say like Luka comes in or whatever, or worse. Let's say like some 3K guy, put up 40 fantasy points in the 7 o'clock game. Okay. And at 9:30, there was like a 10 o'clock game, at 10:30, all these games. And at 9:30, that 7 o'clock guy was still unlocked. And you knew that people were swapping on him and swapping on him, whatever it is. You would 100%, if you didn't, whatever, like adjust your other lineups accordingly if you didn't know what the consequences were going to be. And so I don't know. I'm just listen. I don't want to get into it. You know what I mean? Back and forth with them, but it's like just another example of the shit show that the MMA late swap product has become. And when I reached out to my host about it, today, I'm not going to bitch about it, whatever it is. Who knows whether I would have done whatever, but it's bullshit, And he said, well, just a little side note between you and me. We're seriously taking a look at the late swap thing in the next week or so. I'm okay, fine, we'll see. So
I don't understand something that's universally hated by everyone why they're doing it.
Right, right.
What are you guys doing?
Yeah, right. Exactly. It's just really as easy as that, right?
Right. It just makes it's bizarre to me. Anyway, well, so Sheets, why don't you talk a little bit about what you got going on today?
So the first thing I did, I built some Sabres and lineups with the 2-game slate today, and then what I did was I'm not going to play more than 3 receivers from any one team. I think that playing 4 is like asking for trouble a little bit. There's just too many other skill position guys can get there today.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's the way you want to do. So I took out some of the random, QB plus 4s that I was going to get to, but I will play some QB plus 3s, and I'm getting, the normal dudes, like I'm getting like Josh Allen with, Davis, Diggs, and Beasley, you can play that pretty easily, and I'm getting pretty good lineups with everybody. With everybody kind of normal, but there's one. See, like this is a stupid lineup. I'm not playing. Maybe I should play a use check lineup. It's a 2-game slate.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I don't know. And I don't know what to do about like fringy plays like Perrine. I probably should play him on a 2-game slate, right?
Yeah, I just was actually talking about that. I think that there's an argument. Like if you want to try to win GPPs, this is not going to work out most of the time. I want to make this really clear. But if you're going to try to win GPPs, playing like a Perrine Cook lineup in a millionaire maker type of thing makes sense because Cook, they run the ball when even though Buffalo tends to pass it anyway. But let's just say that the game script makes sense. They're up 2.5, they're up 2 or 3 scores in the second half or whatever. Perrine on the field catching balls out of the backfield can get you there PPR wise, and that actually helps Cook also because Cook will stay on the field as the running back who carries the ball a little bit more in that spot. So I kind of like doing weird stuff like that on these 2 gamers. I just can't get to the use check thing myself. We've talked about it. I feel like nobody's been talked about more and ever done less than use check.
As opposed to who's the other guy? Dwight Powell.
Yeah, he's the Dwight Powell of the freaking NFL.
What about Mitchell in that game? You guys,
Elijah Mitchell?
I'm not getting there, but the problem I have with Mitchell is that the running back is McCaffrey. The backup running back is Deebo Samuel. Yeah. So how does Eli Mitchell fit in? Like maybe he breaks one in the form of a Gainwell because.
Oh wait, I got a guy for you. Are you playing any Nyheim Hines?
I'm not.
Okay. You playing any?
It's kind of an interesting play, but if I played him, I would be playing him with the Buffalo defense and just hope he runs one back, like to get the double points. But
okay. What about Shakir? Are you gonna play any of him?
I'm not, but he's the one on a 2-game slate I think I would play. I wouldn't play him on the 4-gamer because it's, you kind of going to need more just raw points. But I think that, like, I'm playing some McKenzie, but I think McKenzie will be more popular. I kind of like the Shakir idea, Sheets. I'm gonna address a couple things from Eric and Brody. Maybe you can help on some of this stuff. Eric has got a million things as always. We love Eric. Eric, good to see you, buddy. Thoughts on Zeke in general? I think I would be ahead of the field on the 2-gamer, and I will probably be like 10% on the 4-gamer. Sheets, how about you, Brody, and then Sheets?
I'll have a little bit of Zeke, but not much. What was the other question?
The other question was, well, he didn't. Actually, that was the first one. I was going to read the other ones after you guys answered this one.
Oh,
what are your thoughts on Zeke? Sheets, how are you getting that much?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I mean, it's 2-game slate. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
A little bit. That's how I said a little bit.
I would be overweight all those guys and underweight the pot. It's just really straightforward for me on these 2 gamers. Like, I love Pollard today. I have way more Pollard. I had a ton of Pollard on the 4-game slate. But I would rather play, the lower ownership of Zeke today. If I had to build like one lineup, probably.
You playing FanDuel at all?
I'm not. Brody?
I'm not.
And then this is another interesting question, and it's something we should all address. Eric's saying CMC will smash for sure, but should you go over the field on him or fade him completely? I made the decision to go over the field on McCaffrey as my most used player for the 4-gamer. And there is bus paths there, but I would be over the field on McCaffrey. On the 2-gamer, I don't know, man. It's 2-gamer. There's so many different builds you can get because you have such good receiving options. You've got 3 guys at 7K that could outscore McCaffrey even if McCaffrey has a day. Maybe that's the route you go. What are you thinking about that, Brody? And then we'll jump to Sheets.
Yeah, I don't mind that idea. I'm going to be very simple because I'm focused on building right now. So short answer.
All right, sorry. Quick. That's fine. I'll handle it.
I mean, first of all, I want to not call him out, but I wanted to say that why are those the only 2 options? Again, you're saying you're going to get over the field or you're fading him completely. I mean, that doesn't mean
that kind of talk is because of I feel for Eric because look, I have a lot of good things to say about RG. This is not one of them. These people are. Everybody says everything's a lock or a fade. Then they talk about 700 guys. Everybody they play they're always overweight. They're never underweight on anybody unless it's like a guy who's 1% owned. They're like, oh, I'm going to be underweight on him. It's just annoying that it's just the way that people talk. So I don't blame Eric for it. But you don't go play all or fade up everything like she said. I think that's a really important point. I never understood that way of thinking. Even when it comes to baseball, people always say, "Oh, you stack or fade cores." It makes no sense. Absolutely no sense. All right.
You know why it makes sense? It makes sense because it's easy to say. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't make sense. It makes sense that people say it because it's easy to say. You know?
Exactly. Okay, so. Some other things that are coming up, and I just wanted to address them. So like the Hamlin narrative thing, I have a little with Buffalo winning. No.
Are you putting any stock into that?
A ton of stock into it. I really think that. I mean, look, if you look at all these sports seasons, every time these weird magical things happen, that's the team that ends up winning. And it happens so much. Like, going back. I mean, I don't know. And I never thought the Bills were going to win the Super Bowl until I started feeling like they could when the Hamlin thing happened and the way that they've reacted to it. But mostly because, I mean, this is a tough. Like, I like Cincinnati better as a team, but it's hard to go into Buffalo and win. And this is going to be the loudest stadium, basically, that football can have. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough on Cincinnati today.
Well, I would like to announce the following. Okay. I would like to announce that in the first game, back from the whole thing where there was literally, this is when you expected to have the most effect. They were on their hands and knees to beat a freaking Dolphins team that had no quarterback. So, I
agree with that. Yeah, that's a real point. I mean, like I said, I don't think their team is as good as everybody thinks they are, or thought they were all season. But I just think that overall, when it comes to winning games, like I just feel like I feel good. I feel like they have obviously as good a shot as anybody to win the Super Bowl. Although we might just be overlooking the Giants and just not realize. I'm sorry, not the Giants, the Philly. That just think that Philly's much better than everybody else. That's completely possible.
Philly's rough, but you know what? And I said it going into going into yesterday's games. You know, like these teams that are the number 1 seeds off buys are just very, very difficult to beat. I mean, they're just difficult. Like the Giants were literally non-competitive the whole day. And Jacksonville had a freaking, I mean, like they had as good of a chance that you're going to have. You know, they had freaking a crippled Mahomes, right? Like what else can you ask for? And that game really was never close.
I totally disagree with you on that. I actually watched a pretty good bit of that game with my kid. I think that absolutely, I mean, literally you're talking about a fumble at the 2-yard line. Otherwise the Jaguars may win that game. And then it was hard sledding for them after that. But I actually thought that game was a lot closer than it seemed. It was always like a 10 to 3 to 10 point difference.
I'll tell you this. I'd love to get the details on this, but I'll bet you Vegas got obliterated yesterday.
Interesting.
First of all, it was like the easiest 2-team tease like in the history of football, which is the one I talked about, right? You could tease the Chiefs and the Eagles down to -1 or whatever. Yeah. And then the sharp side of the Chiefs game was the Jaguars plus the points, and they got there at the end too, you know. So that was a tough. I think must have been a tough scene for the bookies in the NFL.
Yeah, and the tight end bets are killing it too. I was killing the tight end bets. So
I didn't understand all the Giants love. That was my biggest take. I just thought maybe it was really weird that we didn't assume Philadelphia was just much better than everybody. Like I really don't know if we should assume that anybody could even like they just beat the hell out of everybody all season long when they've had Hurts, and now we're supposed to just all of a sudden not trust them because of one bad game in Washington in Week 11. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. I just Kittle's going lower on for one thing. Well, he's expensive, and Dallas is really good at covering over the middle. Really good linebacking core for Dallas that you want to beat them usually with the speed on the outside. Deebo Samuel and Gabe Davis, along with McCaffrey, are my most owned players of the day from the 2-day slate. But Sheets, I did want to ask you, what are you doing with your 2-dayers? Like, do you have any, like, you know, just Kelsey and maybe you have a Kelsey Goddard lineup, a double tight end, or maybe you have a Kelsey and Etienne or something like that? Anything that you're going to try and build around that's looking good, or do you have some that just, you know, nobody started like me? I've had a bunch of
mine suck. You want? Well, hey, you know what? Let's have some fun.
This is coming from a guy who's going to win the million. Watch this. He's going to say this.
As a matter of fact, let's have some fun. Hold on a minute. We'll pull it up. We'll do this right now. How about that?
Sheets has got like my mood today. You got a little salt in you, man.
Little bit. The MMA thing pissed me off a little bit.
A little bit.
And I like something funny that happened yesterday, by the way. I don't know if you like this. So I don't know if you caught this. So I was the way tennis works is really messed up. Like you play the night before, then you wake up in the morning, and it's usually over. So I was sweating this one match, and I was like just barely out of first, and I just got there, and I went from first to then I missed first by like 10 cents or 0.1. I'm like, damn it. So, and then they did a stat correction, giving me first place at 7,500. I was so excited. I posted on Discord. I posted it on Twitter, the whole thing. And then I realized there were like 2 freaking matches left to go. I'm like, oh, man. And they both got me. I ended up like 12th or something like that. So I had to go freaking say, oh, I screwed up, amateur mistake, and the whole thing. But then I ended up winning the LEC freaking LOL slate for 5K. And this way, I made damn sure that it was official before I made sure the money was in my freaking account before I posted that thing. Well, it was funny because I posted it early. I tweeted yesterday morning. I'm like, this is the day everybody's waiting for in sports. That would be the return of the LEC. Right? I ended up winning that slate, which is pretty fun.
That's awesome.
Well, you need a cushion when you play like some of these lineups. So this is what I have. So what do I got to do? I got to search for Kelsey, right?
Yep.
All right. So let's do that.
You should be. Yeah, you didn't look at any pivots today for any of your lineup shit sheet.
I told you I'm the worst at this. I'm honest about it. It's terrible.
You are honest about it. Like, nobody's gonna question that.
No, I mean, what do you do here? I mean, so I have Kelsey, Valdez-Scantling. This is dead, right? I mean,
that's dead.
They're all dead. Everybody's
no, that day one ain't bad.
Okay,
you got Eagles D in it. That's you got a good lineup with Deebo, Mitchell, and Gabe, and I like that. And Mixon anyway, that's different. You'll be fine.
Let's see some other like I guess this one's still live because I have like 100 spots to fill, right?
Yeah, the only problem is the Bellinger thing.
No, this one over here, bottom right, the one with Ingram and
I can't. For some reason, it's covered.
I can't see with all of us on the screen.
Completely, yeah.
Well, I did do a late swaps thing. I mean, I did, but I wasn't intelligent. But you know what I mean? I put everything into the new projections, and I just like reran. Like the Saber sim will do that, or rebuild your lineups and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't take into account, you know, where you need to get more juicy than others, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, just some of it, but 180. I don't even know how to like. I guess this one. Oh, no, it's Schuster's 4. I guess this one isn't bad. Kelsey, Etienne, and just Richie James.
Yeah.
I guess that's not the worst.
There's nothing wrong with that.
But these are all in like the milli. You know what I mean? Like I just have this idea that if you don't have.
Yeah, that Quez Watkins one ain't looking good.
You sure?
I actually like the play. I don't care.
I don't. I just saying it's got 0 for that guy. That ain't gonna be a good one.
No, whatever. You know,
because for a second there, I was like, oh, you got 3 guys playing. That ain't too bad. And I was like, oh shit, one guy's locked with a 0.
Yes.
Like, hey, make some pivots there. That looks okay.
Hey, so but you know what I will do, by the way. Okay, so I promise you this: that after the first game, if like anything's like legitimately like in the top, I guess 1,000 or something like that, then I'll look and see if I can do something.
I have one at 50th place right now with Mixon to go, so I might have a Millie screenshot, but it's going to die pretty quick.
Hey, you still got to post.
You got a screenshot no matter what. We've established it.
I can get a screenshot maybe if he starts out good. If he doesn't, then
it's been established. If you can screenshot, you do it.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
All right. Other plays from. Let's see. I'm just going to change this really quick.
Yeah, you know what? Something like this one here. I don't know if you see this one. Oh, it's above my face here. This one with just like Richie James, Ingram, and Kelsey with like 100 guys left. I mean, I guess that's got a shot. How about this one with just Kelsey and Goddard?
Yeah, that's great. You should be privet. I wouldn't play. I don't know if I'd play Brock with that.
I think that actually is like a version of the nuts right now. It is.
There's not much of the nuts right now. I mean, Travis Etienne only had 17, but both running backs today can get more than that.
And also, everybody.
I don't think you should play Mitchell in that.
A lot of them are in stacks. Of some
you don't think you should play Mitchell in here?
Not with Purdy. I don't know.
Not with McCaffrey too, right?
Yeah, you got a lot going on there.
Well, I got time for this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, switch that one up for sure. That one's a good one. Yeah,
like this could be one of the other Dallas running backs. I could play like Elliott and then do something else.
Yeah, you could play an Elliott run back in that.
Yeah.
I can't see everybody who you got in that, but it looks like a good lineup going. You can build something good.
What do you think of CD oh my god, look at the receivers from Dallas, like the different prices. You have CD Lamb is $7,300, everybody else is $2.
Yeah, it's like everyone's $3K.
Hey, is T.Y. Hilton like legitimately part of the team?
I mean, he's like the furthest, like he'd be the furthest reach guy, but I mean, yeah, they've played him snaps. You know what I mean? I still think when it comes down to
here. Yeah, this is actually. You know what I did here, Rody? So I had Samuel. So basically, what I did was I swapped Samuel Mitchell for Ayuk Zeke.
Yeah, that's nice. That pairs well a little bit better.
That's not bad.
I like Ayuk today. Dude, I'm big on Gallup today.
Do you like Juwan Jennings today, Bobby?
Yeah, a little bit. He would be. I definitely would use him on the 2-game slate. I actually am throwing him into a couple of impossible lineups on the 4-gamer. So yeah.
Let's see what the defenses are. Who do you? Oh, you know what I could do instead of on this build now? I could go from Bengals up to Buffalo.
Yeah, I think the Buffalo is slightly better than the Bengals. I think they're close. I think Dallas is better than Buffalo.
Yeah.
I love Purdy, and I love what could happen today, and what I'm rooting for in a lot of ways to happen. But I also think there's a path where the Dallas defense really gets to him, and he throws 3 picks and 1 picks up 6 and 5 sacks or something. I could see that happening.
You like Hilton?
I have a very unhealthy amount of. I mean, not unhealthy. I just have I have Ayuk like everywhere. Like I'm obsessed with him.
I got him in a bunch too now.
Yeah. I haven't been monitoring the questions, guys, because I'm trying to build as well, and we're going a little longer. So I'm just trying to see what makes the most sense here.
Yeah, I think some of us are behind here today.
So just guys, a little bit of and now so I'm out Monday. Well, I'm away Monday to Friday. I'll be able to do my stuff, to update sheets and all that stuff. But as far as recording and live, I might be in absentia. So just keep that in mind. And be on the lookout, everybody, for kind of updated videos over the next couple of weeks. What we're trying to do, and so far it's gotten pretty good feedback, is for each sport just to basically say kind of like how to play. You know what I mean? Like using the True DFS tools and our knowledge of time management and, how you can play DFS on a daily basis using what we have available to you. I think we did. I did a decent enough job with the tennis. I think Bobby actually did. I have to say, I think we did a really good job with the basketball the other day.
Yeah, I thought it was good. I really did.
I thought so too. And basketball is actually the one that requires the hardest, the longest explanation. Because Well, it's quite honestly like we give the most content on it. You know what I mean? Because we, between all the different stuff that Bobby puts out there for basketball, whatever. It's much a bit more basic approach for like the other sports that I'll, like MMA and golf, whatever. So we basically just do one video. We put cores. We do our and then we do the and then that's it. And then we give you access to the optimizers. But we'll do a video on those as well. And then when we get to baseball, that's we'll be that'll be a little more in depth also. But I want to do one for every sport, just so it's up there. So like you said, like if people, it's so funny, like people come into Roadie and to all of us all the time say, hey, you know what? I just signed up. Where do I start? Like what do I do? And I'm like, good question. We're actually working on a very reasonable answer to that as we speak. So be on the lookout for that kind of stuff.
Absolutely. I think that's good stuff. I'm going to finish building because I've got like I said, I've got a bunch of lineups that I don't have anybody playing, and some with just Etienne, some with just Goddard. So I guess maybe I'm not as dead as I thought I was. Anything else though that you guys want to touch on? Sheets, I think that stuff is great. How's the golf going, by the way?
It's not going really well because it's not going well for anybody. I missed the cut with these good lineups, and only 4% made only 4% of lineups did get 6 for 6. But yeah, I'll be lucky probably to break even. But we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see how that goes. It was a tough one. It was a tough go. I mean, listen, when you have like on a three-day cut, the top guys are going to get there most of the time, and the cheapos that give you a lot of hope the first couple of days. It's kind of hard to expect them to really get there all the time. So it is what it is. Next week, next week I think MMA is off next week, and I think NASCAR starts again soon. So maybe we'll get Brandon back on here for a primer.
That'd be nice.
Yeah. Never worry about the weather in the NFL.
That's not true. But...
And then, you know what I think I want to do, by the way? By the way, I'm a little pissed at State Kings, but that's another story. But what I want to do, this is what I want to do. The NCAA has they do survivor pools for the NCAA. And I'll tell you that is one of the most mind-bending, just awesome things you could try to play. And I'll go over that as we get there. But what I think I want to do in one of my pools is I want to put in a true DFS entry. You know what I mean? Like from our community. And we'll build we'll have on the Discord. First, I don't know if we have a college basketball Discord. Do we have that?
I think we have a channel, but I haven't said anything.
That's what I mean. I would think no, because there's no DFS for college basketball. Is there one? So what I want to do is I'll put it in. It's like, I'll just donate. It's like a $50, probably it's like a $50, $100 entry, whatever. And maybe what we'll do is we'll all just kind of like whoever's in that Discord. Maybe again, we'll figure out some way to give everybody a piece of it, and we'll all just kind of try to figure out what to do. You know what I mean? And try to enter one as a community, or maybe if the community, maybe screw the subscribers, right? Maybe just you, me, Rhodey, and Goldie, or whatever. We'll put one together, and everybody will root. We'll give them a free roll or something like that, or maybe everybody will participate. It's like a really cool thing. What you have to do is you have to pick like it's so messed up. Like let's say the first day there's 60. Starts with 64. So on the first day, 16 teams play. 16 games happen. 32 each of the first 2 days. So each day, like the first day, you have to pick 2 winners. Okay? Just 2 winners. No big deal, right? You don't have to get the spread. And the second day, you have to pick just 2 winners. No big deal, right? And then each day after that, you have to pick 1 winner. And that's it. Okay? It is the most impossible pool to win, okay? Because the way bracketology works, you have to make it so you have available teams kind of near the end. So the idea is to pick teams now that you hope to lose in the second round or something like that. It's a really, really cool pool, and I probably want to do that for the NCAA tournament. I'm kind of into that.
Nice, yeah, that sounds cool.
And you guys, and one thing I don't want to do, I'm not doing any of these. Well, Well, I'm doing them like the NFL boxes and stuff like that for the Super Bowl. I just donate like so many freaking charities that like come in and they want to do the NFL pool, the box pool.
Mhm.
We should do something for the Super Bowl. I don't know what exactly.
Absolutely. I don't know what it is yet, but we should definitely do something.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
Yeah.
So here's another thing. So I am like on in and out today, but I'm going to be around a little bit. So what I'm thinking of doing, depending on when these games kind of troll off, right, is I'm going to go live. I'm going to do something with the NBA later. That doesn't start till 8:00. So I'm kind of thinking maybe it's like at 6 is good because it sweats the. When's the first game? 3 or 3:30? My time. 3. Yeah, so that's the bad idea. That's going to end at 6. But the second game starts at 6:30. I'll get in there at some point. Obviously, if any of us are deep in something, in any of these showdowns or any of these milli makers or anything, we're going to be in there. I promise you, I'm going to be in there.
Mm-hmm.
But just again, keep your YouTube notifications on, or if you follow on Twitch or whatever, your notifications on, because we might at the very last minute just fire it up. And you know me, I don't care if nobody's in there. I'll come and talk to myself, so it doesn't matter.
Right.
But, so be on the lookout for it. And so you're saying Cowboys roll today? Purdy shows what he really is. What does that mean? Someone who just never loses and does everything he's asked to do? That seems to be what it really is. I don't know. We'll see about that. Hey, do you like that other tight end for the Cowboys at all? Ferguson?
No.
Ferguson?
That's fine. I'm not doing it, but whatever. It's fine by me, but I'm not.
I need Knox and Schultz to score first touchdowns in both games. And I'm fine with that.
He's got a nice parlay going there.
Dude, I know some guy that does MMA betting, like real super, like one of the funniest guys ever. His videos, and he also bets like pretty big in football. He had not only Schultz to score like a touchdown last week, he had Schultz to score 2 touchdowns at like pretty big odds. Yeah, and he got rewarded for it. He ended up getting limited after that.
What do you mean?
DraftKings
They're
Sports
cutting his bet.
like small amounts of his action now.
Oh,
Believe that?
That's ridiculous.
I mean, it's kind of it's kind of an honor, but give me a break. It's like stupid prop bets in football. I mean, like come on.
Seriously. All right, I'm gonna finish my builds and my going through stuff. I actually have to really pee too. Anybody else have anything else you want to touch on?
Yeah, I got one other thing to talk about.
I'll leave it on streaming on. I'm just gonna.
Well, no, I was gonna say, as far as the showdown, the first game at least. Gabe Davis is my highest owned captain.
Same here. On my own.
And then actually my second one is really, really bizarre. It's James Cook. I guess because he makes lineups work,
Yeah,
and then Higgins and Knox. Those are my 2 top ones. And I'm just want to make sure I don't have any Trent Irwins or anything like that. Even in showdown, I'll play some, Hines and Shakir. I don't even think I'm going to play Irwin in showdown.
Yeah,
I mean, since these guys have come back, he just hasn't gotten any snaps. I mean, he's got no action.
Yeah, I understand. All right, guys, I'm gonna get out of here, but I will leave this on in case anybody wants to keep going. And
I'll you can shut it down. That's fine.
All right. Well, good luck today, guys. I hope somebody wins $1 million. And I'll
I hope I win like 4,000 in LEC again. That'd be fun too.
All right. Yeah, we'll do that if you can't win the $1 million. All right. Sounds good.
Yeah, exactly.